1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1.
Mike Heading here. I'm back with another bluegrass lesson this week. We're going to work on the really old song, Pretty Polly, in the key of A. This is a really great song. One, it's got a great melody, a great bluesy old melody. We're going to work on playing the melody and accenting certain notes with our index finger of our right hand, which can be a struggle for beginners, so we're going to really focus on that for this lesson. We're also going to dip our toe a little bit into the water of music theory and talk about staying away from the third note in the G chord. So that would be the note that makes it really the happy sound. And we're going to look at adding that minor third note, which gives it that really bluesy sound. That can be really cool as well. And once you get that little bit of theory knowledge, you can apply that to other songs where you want to give it that bluesy feel, which can sound really cool. I'm going to break down both solos note for note, and then also show you a bunch of backup I would do. So how to do down the neck rolling backup while staying away from that third note, and some up the neck vamping as well that you can do for the song. And if you're watching the preview of this lesson, you can head over to my website, MikeHeadingMusic.com, and grab the full-length lesson. You'll get access to watch all the videos, and you can download the tabs and the practice tracks. All right, here's Pretty Polly in the key of A. All right, let's start breaking down this lesson for Pretty Polly. So before we get into the solo, let's look a little bit just at the theory. So remember, we're in the key of A. I've got my capo on the 2nd fret. I've got my 5th string spiked up to A. So we're going to be playing and thinking in the key of G, but it's going to sound like the key of A. And for this style of song, I've heard it referred to as modal before, but basically what this means is we're going to be playing minor sounding notes on top of major sounding chords. So there's one note in the G chord, the 3rd note, it's that in the G chord that makes it happy, or if you flatten, you might have heard of a flattened 3rd. That gives it the minor sound. So you got happy or spooky or sad, right? So basically in this style of song, we're going to be playing those minor sounding notes on top of major sounding chords. So that has a really cool sound to it. I've heard it referred to as modal. Sometimes it's called the mountain sound. But basically what we're going to be doing is playing minor sounding notes on top of major sounding chords. So we're going to use the 3rd fret a lot for this song. And you can use your 3rd finger. We're going to use our 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the 4th string, 3rd string, 2nd string. And you can either use your 3rd finger or pinky up on the 1st string. The other finger we're going to use a lot in this song is our 1st finger on the 1st fret of the 2nd string. So why are we doing that? Our open 2nd string is the major 3rd, so that's the note that gives it that happy sound. So we're going to kind of want to stay away from that open 2nd string in our lead and in our backup, and we'll talk about that as time goes on. So those are kind of the positions I would get familiar with. Maybe put your 1st finger on the 1st fret of the 2nd string, and just practice moving your 3rd finger around to those different 3rd frets, and you'll hear it already sounds kind of bluesy, which is cool. So just kind of get familiar with those positions at first, okay? And again, I'm kind of planting my 1st finger on the 1st fret of the 2nd string, and then I'm reaching out with my 3rd finger, okay? So that's kind of the positions and a little bit of the music theory behind Pretty Polly, and we'll keep talking about that as we break down the lesson. Okay, let's start by breaking down the first 5 measures. Let me play them and then we'll break it down. Here we go. Let's do that a few times. One more time, a little faster. Okay, so we're going to start with our pickup. On the and of beat 1, we're going to pinch strings 1 and 3 with our index and middle finger. So what I recommend is counting beat 1, 1, and then we're going to hit the open 4th string twice, and then the 3rd fret with our 3rd finger. So we have and, 2, 3, 4. So it's a pinch and then 3 quarter notes with your thumb. So not too hard. So 1, Let's do that a few times. 1, 1. And if you're having trouble with that initial pinch, you could just take it out and then just do like that. But adding that little offbeat pinch is very bluegrassy, very J.D. Crowe. So let's do it one more time. 1. And then into measure 2, we're going to pinch strings 1 and 3, the same ones we did to start the song. And then I'm going to put my third finger back down on the 3rd fret of the 4th string, do a forward roll, 4, 3, 1. And then move my 3rd finger to the 3rd fret of the 3rd string and do 5, 3, 1, same forward roll. And then we're going to hit our thumb on the 3rd string. So we have, let's do measure 2 on its own. And then I'm going into measure 3. Let's do that a few times. The other thing I'll kind of do with that 3rd fret on the 3rd string is you can kind of bend it, which can sound kind of cool. And that's kind of optional, but basically anytime we hit that 3rd fret on the 3rd string, we can bend that note a little bit if we want to. Just gives it, again, kind of that bluesy flavor that we like on this song. And the melody there is basically, we're kind of walking around those 3rd fret and open strings. So open 3rd string, 3rd fret on the 4th string, open 3rd string, 3rd fret on the 3rd string. And basically what we're doing there is we're just putting those melody notes into a roll. So let's do the first 2 measures. Here we go. And this is also a great song to work on accenting your index finger. So we're accenting it to start it, and then rolling forward, and then right here, accent your index finger. That's going to help you bring out that melody note on the 3rd string. And you can't loop measure 2 because it starts and ends with your middle finger, but we can play it a few times. Not too hard there, and then that's into measure 3, thumb on the 3rd string, and then outside string, thumb middle, and then 3rd fret 4th string, and then open 3rd string again. So that's, and the melody there again is basically just that open 3rd string, and then I'm kind of throwing that 3rd fret in there on the 4th string. That's just basically the flatted 7th note, which gives it again a bluesier flavor. So we have, so let's do measures 2 and 3. Here we go. A little faster. And then measure 4, back up to the 3rd fret of the 3rd string, put your 1st finger on the 1st fret of the 2nd string, and we're going to do a forward reverse roll. So that's 3, 2, 1 are my strings there, T-I-M, up to the 5th string, and then go backwards, 1st string, 3rd string, 3rd fret, 4th string, open 1st string, and then open 3rd string starts measure 5. So we have, that's a cool lick. Key there is you have to have your 1st finger down first. I've found that helps. So basically use that open 3rd string in measure 3 to get your hand in position. And the melody goes up to the open 1st string there, so it's, let's do that again. So we're just filling it up with a roll there. So that's not too hard there. And then measure 5, open 3rd string, pinch the outside strings, and then we're going to use that same 3-1 position we were just in and roll forward. 3, 2, 1, 5 are my strings. That's going to set up the next phrase. So we're using this position a lot in this song. Make sure you're doing the string test so you can get all those notes to ring out cleanly. So let's play the first 5 measures and then we'll move on. Here we go. One more time, a little faster. And then measure 6, use that open 5th string. We're going to 1-3 hammer on the 2nd string, so your first finger is already down right there, so keep it down. We're going to use our index finger of our right hand and do index middle. Again, this is a spot where you got to accent your index finger. Keep your 3rd finger down, roll forward, 5, 2, 1, 5. And then we're going to put our pinky on the 3rd fret of the 1st string for our quarter note for beat 4. So we have. So let's practice 5 into 6. And the melody there is just the open 1st string and then the 3rd fret on the 1st string. That's the Polly, Pretty Polly part. So again, there's kind of a melodic line and then a little space and then a melodic line and a little space. So we have our opening melody. And then right here there's a little space. And then we have our next melody line. So again, it's kind of, we're using those little fill licks to fill the space, and then we're playing our next line with the hammer on. So let's do 5 into 6. Here we go. Again, really important, you got to accent your index finger, which is tricky for beginners, right? I know for me, I had to really over-exaggerate my index finger to get the sound, and then I would dial it back as I got it down. That's really good practice, and that's one of the things I really want you to focus on for this song. Now measure 7, we're going to go back to the open 1st string. So you're basically in this position, you just take your pinky off and play the open 1st string. Again, good wrist angle practice to be able to take your pinky off and play those notes. And then right here we're going to do a 1-3 hammer on again on the 2nd string, but this time with our thumb of our right hand. So your thumb's going to come down, you're going to do thumb middle. And then you're going to do 5, 2, 1, 5. So it's a great example of doing that 1-3 hammer on with your index finger in measure 6. And then in measure 7 with your thumb. So why did we do that? Because in the end of measure 5 we used our thumb, so we couldn't start measure 6 with our thumb, so we had to use our index finger there. But then in measure 7 our thumb was freed up, so we could use our thumb. That's great practice. Again, in Scruggs style there's a good rule, if you can use your thumb you should, so that's kind of a good rule you can follow. So that's why in measure 7 we brought our thumb down. Also just good practice. Now measure 8, same 1-3 hammer on again, this time with our index finger. Same reason, our last note of measure 7 is our thumb. So index middle there. Now take your 3rd finger off, keep your 1st finger down, do 5, 2, 1. And then move your 3rd finger to the 3rd fret of the 3rd string and do 5, 3, 1. So you have. That's a great lick to practice. Again, a lot of accenting with your index finger there. See if you can get all those index fingers to be louder, so that'll help the melody come out. That's really good index finger practice. Let's do 7 and 8 together. So we have. One more time. Even just looping measure 8 would be good practice. And then measure 9, same 1-3 hammer on again. So we're getting a lot of practice with this time with your thumb, same reason. Now keep your 3rd finger down, do 5, 2, 1 twice. So not too hard there. let's do 6 through 9. So we have. A little faster. A little faster still. Really good practice there. Accent to your index finger, like I said.